Alright guys, welcome back. First of all, I'd just like to apologize for the sort of erratic upload schedule I have going on there. It's mainly because I am migrating, so I've been running around trying to get everything sorted on this end. I packed away pretty much everything, all figures, and tore down the review area and everything. Packed away all the lights, only to get this Spider-Man in the post, and definitely had to whip those lights and stuff back out to do a review on this. One of the most divisive figures of this year, I think. Love it or hate it, we're gonna take a closer look at this figure, see if it's actually worth that $50 price point. So without further ado, let's crack this package open and see what we get inside. So taking a closer look at the maximum packaging, it does look pretty decent. I'm not a huge packaging collector or anything, but if I would say one thing, they should put some sort of window on top so the light shines down. You could more or less see everything inside there, I guess. And right off the bat, without even opening the packaging, we could see that we have a paint flaw on the wrist, which is definitely not good for something of this price point. So it's already not looking too great for the maximum Spidey. Moving further down, you can see Maximum Spider-Man. They have some little comic strips on the side there. Him crouched, which is a pretty cool pose. The packaging does look decent. Nothing too spectacular, I would say, but it gets the job done. On this side, you have him hanging upside down. Legal information. Maximum. So let's take a closer look at the figure inside. So let's take a closer look at Spider-Man here. The eyes, they don't seem as close together as they should be, and there's this big huge oval in the middle. And usually on McFarlane's designs you would see sort of a white piece jutting up. Some of the web lines are janky on top of the head. You can see this one went askew, and this one also. Moving down, you can see the spider logo. Pretty clean, pretty nice looking. I don't usually have a problem with painted web lines, to be honest. I think it's alright. Now this is quite an ISO. They just gave up halfway through painting this thing apparently. So it just, I don't know if that was the intention, but it looks pretty bad. Should have just painted it all the way through. Something I'm probably gonna have to do, and you shouldn't have to on a $50 figure. Even on the back here, you could see some sort of paint slop going on there. If you want to charge this price for what is essentially a regular Marvel Legend, then you open yourself up for criticisms, or higher criticisms, I should say. This is another strange decision. They could have simply ended the spider leg there, but instead they decided to put it on the butterfly joint. So once you have the butterfly joint extended forward, the leg extends with it. So very, very strange decision. Something I'm probably gonna have to paint as well. Even on this side you could see some red coming through on the blue there, or the blue may have peeled and the red is under. The hips, while they do function very nice, I will say that when you're trying to get the legs together, they automatically pop down. So there's always this ugly looking gap right there. I've seen people do some mods where they pop the legs off and shaved a little bit off the inside here, and that sort of helps that problem. Beyond that, I do like the proportions on this. I do like the fact that they did some sculpting of some seam lines and, well, not seam lines, crease lines and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Nice to see rather than just seeing a flat base body. Another thing I'll say about this figure is the fact that they didn't do a matte finish on the costume, because if you look at it under the light, you can see it's very, very shiny. And last time I checked, Spider-Man doesn't wear leather. Getting down to the boots, does look pretty decent and pretty clean on the web lines. I like the fact that they have the toe joints there now. And then we get to my other gripe, which is these. What the hell? Why do they have holes at the bottom of the feet? What, they couldn't afford to put the extra piece of plastic to make that work? It isn't disrupting the mechanism here to prevent the bend, so it's very, very confusing as to why they put that there. And it's very ugly. And every pose you do with him, you always have to see that in every shot. So it's quite annoying, to be quite honest. But nonetheless, he is a good looking Spider-Man. And if it didn't have a Spider-Man in your collection before, like I did, I only had the a bootleg of the retro Spider-Man, because that was pretty much the only one I ever saw from Marvel Legends that I liked. So for a lot of people, this might be the be-all, end-all Spider-Man, and I think this is it for me. The only other Spider-Man I would jump on immediately is if they did a John Romita Sr. Version of Spider-Man, with the light blues and the web wings and everything, the full works with this articulation scheme. And I think that would be the only other time I'd pick up another Spider-Man. So moving right along, we're going to get into the articulation. So he does look up quite a bit. He has a hinge joint at the top of the neck, and then the neck has a ball joint at the bottom. I've seen people doing mods and stuff to the neck, but to be honest, I don't really think it's necessary. Seems to look up far enough, quite fine, right out of the box. And he does look down quite a ways as well. He does have some tilt. Maybe that's where that mod could assist a bit, give him some more tilt. His arms, shoulders go up to about this high. They do rotate. The bicep does swivel. The double jointed elbows are quite a deep bend. He does have an articulation point here, though it is meant for attaching one of the accessories, but he does have that swivel there. And also on the wrist, he does have a hinge and swivel. The butterfly joints can reach quite a ways across the chest. They can stretch quite a ways back. They do leave that weird bump right there. The torso crunches forward about this far. Tilts about this far. Goes back about this far. And in unison with the crunch forward, can get quite a deep crunch. And quite a decent arch back. The torso has seemingly what is detents on it, so it does not move smoothly. It clicks into place. So going around, seems to have around 6 or 7 detents. Kind of strange choice. I would prefer it to be able to move freely, however you wanted, but sometimes you'll have it in between those detents and it'll just simply snap back. Definitely not ideal, so you have to turn it until it snaps into place. His legs do have the drop down hips. They do kick forward quite high. The leg does go back about this far. You can't actually do a full split, unfortunately. The thighs do have a cut. The knees are double jointed, deep bend. The shins do have a swivel. The ankles go forward about this far, back about this far. Does have a rocker, and he does have toe joint. Getting right into Spidey's accessories. He does come default in package with 2 fists. He also comes with 2 wall crawling hands. He does come with 2 whip hands, and one has a slightly curled finger on the right hand side and an outstretched one on the left hand side. He comes with an alternate pair of whip hands, but these actually have webbing molded in, and they are different on each side. One is spreading out and the other one's a web line. He does come with grabbing hands, and those are actually vertically hinged. He does come with 2 bendy web lines, and these are just flexible and bendy. They don't have a wire in them or anything, but they are decently sculpted. And those web lines could be used for those hanging poses. And of course it can be used for those swinging poses, but of course if you don't have it attached to the top somewhere, it's gonna flop down. He does come with a really cool web shield, probably the best accessory I think he does come with. That can just clip onto his wrist. So now I could have him defending a la Marvel vs. Capcom. He does come with a little stand, and at first I thought, wow, they were copying Jada's stand, but it's pretty much extremely cheap. It doesn't even the same quality as the Jada one. This one is extremely flimsy, and this is almost like a jar lid. But the stand does function, I guess. And the stand can be used to plug in his other 2 accessories. One is the webbing net that you can attach to this little point right there. So you can make him look like he just shot that web out. The other accessory that utilizes the stand is this. Well, I guess it's supposed to be impact webbing, but the design of it is a little bit weird. And you can set him up to make him look like he's shooting that web as well. He does come with a pair of ungloved forearms, and those are showing the old school web shooters. To put those on, you simply pull the entire forearm off and then just plug in the new one. I think it was a cool idea and just not executed the best, because instead of putting a articulated hand there, the hands can't move. So all they can do is just basically swivel at the gauntlet piece. Also, the gauntlets are a bit bigger than the arm, so they do look a little bit strange. But you can use them in photography at certain perspectives, and it should work. He does come with a Spidey sense accessory, which is really cool. It is painted on both sides. It is slightly bendy, but if you bend it too much, it's gonna snap, so just be careful. And to put this spider sense effect on, you simply just need to slide it over his head, and that looks really cool. He does also come with an alternate head sculpt, but this head sculpt does not have too much difference than the one that he comes with. This eye is slightly squinted. I don't think it's much of a big enough difference that you should make this a completely new head sculpt. I think this should have been a battle damaged one or something. So kind of a waste. Nonetheless, to attach the head sculpt, you simply pop off the old one, plug in the new one, and It's very, very tight. But there you go. And finally, everybody's most hated accessory out of all, the weird looking Peter Parker head sculpt, who looks very much high. I will be honest, I don't think the head sculpt looks that bad in person. From some angles, you could probably make him look alright. The eyes are very cleanly painted as well, though. Kind of a gold, not brown. And here's how he looks with that head sculpt on. Definitely think some angles are better than others. Like this one is alright. This one even better. I'm just kidding. But yeah, not the greatest head sculpt, to be quite honest with you. I really don't like the goofy looking grin. Kind of wish he was just serious. Something to note about this Peter Parker head sculpt is that the spider sense effect does not fit on his head. And if you force it, you might actually end up breaking it. So just be careful. You might, if you want to take some photos with it, you might have to like sticky tack it to the back of his head or something. For height, he does stand about 6¼ inches tall. And I will apologize in advance because I don't have my usual array of figures to compare. I only have 3. Here he is next to CT Toys Amazing Spider-Man, using the bootleg retro Spider-Man head. Here he is next to McFarlane Nightfall Batman. And here he is next to Premium DNA's Earthworm Jim, who's missing an arm because he fell and broke while I was packing. So in closing, it's really hard to justify the price on this figure, especially when right off the top of my head I could think of another figure in that price range, which was the Rage Toys Michelangelo, the Summer. And that figure is amazing. That figure has washes and dry brushing and stuff, and it did come packed with accessories for $46 or $47, and it also had the option to come with the accessory kit, which was more accessories for $57. So really and truly, there's no excuse here for Hasbro for charging this amount. I think they just did that because it was Spider-Man and they knew they could get away with it. And I see they're attempting to do the same with the Hulk. I'm not sure how that one's gonna go, but we'll see. Because that one is blatant reuse of an older figure. So it's really hard to justify the price point with the flaws that I pointed out on this figure. The most egregious ones, I think, are the unpainted underarms of my figure. I don't know if everyone else has that problem. And also those ridiculous holes on the toes, which each time this makes a round around the turntable there, I see and I get annoyed by. Are really ugly. Not sure whose decision that was to put that there, but it's really, really bad. The price point should have been around $35 realistically. I would have rather they take away some accessories and made the price point a little bit lower, because the figure itself is actually pretty decent, but just not for the price point that they gave it at. I did try to get this on Big Bad Toy Store. I pre-ordered this probably day 1 and it never came in. I saw quite a lot of people saying they got theirs already, and mine never came. So I saw this on Amazon, $50 flat, free shipping, no extra tax or anything like that, so couldn't ordered it faster. I'll put a link to the Amazon listing once it's available, and so if you're interested you could pick it up there. So nonetheless, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope this was helpful to anyone who was on the fence about getting this figure, and until next time, y'all take care.